Peace, 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 peace. What's good? What's good? What's good? Love and light, love and life, love and life, love and life, love and light, love and life, health and wellness. All right. Um, I'm coming through today. Um, in regards to some situations I've encountered to basically give me the idea that what's going on right now is much deeper. Um, it's much deeper than what it seems to be. And I know I said that before, speaking about certain alignments and things of that nature. But basically, what's going on is this. After quarantine, mostly everything was shut down. Um, and a lot of stores was closed. And so, after a while, things began to open up again. So some things opened up. So um, after things opened up, I go into the bookstore. All right, I go into the bookstore, Barnes and Nobles, and everything was rearranged. And to my surprise, I didn't see the section I believe is called cultural studies. I believe it's called cultural studies, and this is the very small section where you will have your few little conscious books or books that's mainly geared towards African Americans. That would be the main African American literature. In the cultural studies section. And when I went back, I couldn't find that section. And I said, "Wow, it looks like they removed that section." Now, I asked the worker, and she said it was there, but I went there twice and I couldn't find the section. So, I just leave it there. So, not really thinking too much about that, you know, because I don't do too much shopping at that bookstore anyways. I mean I do, but that's not the only outlet that I use to find books. So, I end up going to the museum. This was yesterday. I go to the art museum. And when I go to the art museum, the section for ancient Egypt was cut off. You couldn't go to it. You couldn't view the section of ancient Egypt. And you also couldn't view the section of the ancient Indian section. All right? And this was conspicuous to me because it's almost like we're forced. If you go into the art museum where I'm located, you're forced to view just only one group of people and only one section of history. Everything else was cut off. And so, I would like you all, if you guys are like me, if you guys love to go to the art museum and you guys like looking at the ancient artifacts and things of that nature, if things are open where you are at, can you please respond and let me know if you have encountered something similar? Because I'm just curious. I'm just real curious. I really am. I'm just real curious. All right? I'm just real curious. Um, so it really, really seems that what's going on today could be actually used as a front um, for other things also. So, not saying that this virus situation isn't real, because I believe it is. I really do. I believe it's serious. I really believe that it's something out there. It's something out there that's very, very dangerous. I truly believe that, but I also believe that that could be used as many different fronts for different other things also. Um, and if that's the case, we need to keep our eyes open, man. We need to keep our eyes open. You dig what I'm saying? All right. So that's pretty much it. I really didn't have too much I really wanted to say. I mainly would really like to see if anybody may have encountered anything similar, you know, to what I've encountered, as it pertains to the bookstore and as it pertains to the art museum. And that's pretty much it, man, because like I said, I'm real curious. I'm real curious. You know. I might as well leave off on a rant. What better way to shut a video down with a rant? History is very important. History is very important. Um, African Americans, indigenous human beings, um, there's a very big percentage of us. There's a very big percentage of us um, who don't know our history, um, don't know the extent of our history, um, and and just isn't aware, of who we really are, and essentially, they have covered up our history and given us modern religions, and modern religions, um, when used correctly or in certain instances, you know, is very powerful in itself. But um, the 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 negative side of the religions is it could, in some instances, if a person isn't, well versed or hasn't engaged into different topics, it could bring a person away from their true self, as far as history and as far as who a person truly is. All right, so you know we have to, it's up to us to really fight for our history and to really fight, you know, um, to really fight for things that's important to us, and the things that really mean something to us. Because if we don't, these things will slowly disappear and vanish into thin air. You know, and another thing I want to say is, on the side of a rant, I have noticed where I'm at, and this is just going way going way left field, but soon as the summer hit, the beginning of summer, it was like a high peak in violence. The summer solstice hit. It was like a high peak in violence. It was like a violent streak, you know. And I heard about some crazy stuff going on in Chicago too. So if somebody can respond to that, if somebody else noticed that, where they at, where soon as the summer hit, summer solstice, that weekend, and whatever the case may be, Father's Day weekend, it was a high peak in violence. Let me know if anybody noticed that as well. But yeah, man, you know, we gotta fight for them things that's important to us, man. You know, we gotta stay true to ourselves. We gotta keep our history alive. You know, and you know, we gotta continue to push, you know, our historical greatness. You know, we got to continue to push our historical greatness, because it's been a disservice to humanity. You know, a very great disservice to humanity, to perpetuate, you know, a false narrative, you know, on Africans and indigenous cultures, you know, and there's, you know, large masses of people who don't really have a full understanding, you know, of this profound truths and profound knowledge and profound science, that these so-called savages and these so-called pagans and these so-called, you know, inferior people have accomplished, and the wealth of knowledge that they're containing and holding, and things of that nature. So it's been a great disservice. You know, it's been a great disservice to humanity, and, you know, we just have to, you know, pick up the pieces and put it back together and begin to heal, you know, and make things whole and make things right. So that's pretty much it. You know, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to touch those two little topics to see if anybody out there have experienced or noticed anything similar to those couple things that I speak on. You feel me? Off the Heezy for Sheezy. You can find me up in One Tweezy. I'm out.